Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine.
And today we're going to be visiting one of my favorite places, I must say.
Really? So you're a big meat eater.
I am. I have to have meat every day, so that's why I usually go to the butcher.
All right, so vegetarians, be warned. Today's dialogue is all about eating meat and where to go to get meat. So as Marco said, that place is called the Butcher's.
So we're going to be visiting the butcher, and we're going to learn all the different types of meat you can find there.
Great. So we don't have anything to preview, but before we get started, just like to mention that you're going to hear a lot of different kinds of words, and we'll be back in a minute to talk about what they mean.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like half a pound of ground beef, please.
Good choice. Our ground beef is extra lean, if you know what I mean.
Could I also have half a dozen pork chops and 2 pounds of boneless chicken breast?
No chicken breasts at the moment, but we have some nice chicken thighs.
No, that won't do. I'll take this smoked ham you have here.
Okay. Is there anything else?
Is this salami and bologna you have here?
Yes. It's very fine meat. Made it myself.
Sounds good. Okay, that's it.
Wait. We have T-bone, ribeye, and sirloin steaks. They are very fresh. Just came from the slaughterhouse.
No, that's okay, really. I think that's all for today.
Okay, that'll be $34.50.
All right, we're back. So this butcher was kind of creepy in the beginning.
Very creepy in the beginning.
I think that's usually the conception that you have of butchers because they always have a knife and they're always covered in blood, but it's not human blood.
Right, like the movie Sweeney Todd. Did you see that?
Yeah, like Sweeney Todd.
Butcher of Fleet Street.
But we actually took a look at a lot of different types of meat that the woman was ordering. So why don't we take a look at these now in Language Takeaway?
Language takeaway.
Okay, so the first is a classic cut. This is something that we had at my house about once a week growing up. It's called a pork chop.
Pork chop. Mm-hmm. So a pork chop comes from the animal, the pork or pig.
Yeah, well, we actually don't say pork to mean the animal. Pork just means the kind of meat that comes from a pig. So big difference there. When we're talking about food, we say pork.
Oh, wow. And what about a pork chop? So what exactly is that?
Chop is usually just on the bone, and oftentimes it's fried. Or baked, I guess. But it's just a piece of pork on the bone, and a chop. You just imagine a knife chopping something.
All right, so a pork chop, very good. And after pork chops, we were ordering some ground beef.
All right, so ground beef is another important one. Ground beef is beef that's been chopped up and pushed through a machine that kind of pushes it out in very, very small bits and pieces.
Okay.
There's no bones.
So ground comes from the verb to grind. Mm-hmm. So to grind up meat, to make it very, very small pieces.
Right, so if you want to make a spaghetti bolognese, the kind of beef you use is ground beef, or even hamburgers.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So ground beef, you ground up beef. What other things would you grind?
Oh, you could grind your teeth.
You can grind.
Some people do that when they're sleeping. They grind their teeth. You can grind, you have pepper grinders. You know, peppers sometimes come in balls. And you have to grind them to make them smaller and broken down.
Very good. So that's ground beef, and from the verb to grind. Now we are buying some boneless chicken breasts.
All right, so boneless, as you have guessed, means without bones. Mm-hmm. And chicken breasts are usually just a really nice, juicy, kind of tender cut of meat from the chicken, from the kind of underside of the chicken, where obviously Yeah, they have it. It's not a wing. It's not a leg. It's just a chicken breast.
All right. So boneless chicken breast. Now, usually it is boneless, right, when you buy it at the supermarket.
Yeah. Next up, we've got some classic deli counter favorites. These are our cold cuts.
All right, so cold cuts. Now, this means that they are cold?
Oh, well, yeah, they're cold. But I think cold cuts, the most important thing to remember here is that they're mostly like kinds of salami or cured meats. So these are salt cured or they're dried meats. And you usually have them on sandwiches. So like a salami sandwich.
So like cured meat, you mean that meat hasn't been cooked?
Oh, no, it's not been cooked, but it's treated in a way that allows it to last for a very long time.
All right,
so they look like long tubes of meat.
Or they look very dry. So
Look very dry, like
all
beef
right.
jerky, for example.
All right, so cured meat. Now, for example, we have salami and bologna.
Bologna.
Now, it's interesting because bologna is actually spelled Bologna. So you would say Bologna or something like that.
Well, I think it comes from the Italian Bologna.
All right.
But it's definitely a change that happened in the English language when it came over from Italy. But bologna is a kind of meat it's got a very funny looking name.
Yeah, see, you're more sophisticated than I am. That's why you know this difference.
I
between
just speak
salami.
Italian, so no.
All right, so you have salami, bologna, and
Pastrami.
What about ham? Is that considered a cold cut?
You can have ham in the cold cut section because ham sometimes comes in tubes that you slice. But ham is also just a normal kind of pork. But ham is cured,
Like a smoked ham.
Exactly.
All
or
right.
smoked turkey, one of my favorites.
Very good. And now moving on from the cold cuts, we're going to concentrate on steaks.
Ooh, steaks. So there are 1,000 kinds of steaks in this world, and every city seems to have its own kind. But here we're only looking at 3, the first of which is the T-bone.
All right, the T-bone steak, I think, is one of the most popular ones.
Definitely.
It's a steak that's pretty big, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, it can be.
And it has a bone inside that looks like a T.
All right. So you're saying, Marco, that the T-bone is named after the shape and the look of this steak.
Yeah, T-bone steak.
All right.
And as well as our next one is also a rib eye.
Okay, so the rib eye, I think, actually has a piece of the rib in it. So the rib is the bone, and there's a circle, which is kind of the piece of meat is sliced off the rib, and the circle is actually part of that rib. So there's a little bit of bone in it, but it's not as bony as the T-bone.
Right. So it does have one small bone that kind of looks like an eye because you can see through it. And our next steak has no bone and is the most tender and the best steak you can have, sirloin steak.
So I think the sirloin is definitely the most expensive if you're in a restaurant. Definitely the most tender, I think, of all those
Delicious.
kind of cuts.
And usually you can have like a big sirloin steak, like a half a kilo, like a 400-gram sirloin steak.
I had a friend who ate a full kilo
Really?
sirloin steak. Yeah.
Wow. Is it a competition or?
No, there's a kind of steak called la bistecca alla fiorentina in Italy. It's the Florentine beef steak, and it can be about a kilo of meat.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet you can't even move after that.
No, you fall asleep with your head in your soup on the table.
All right, so that's all the meat-related words that we have for you today. So why don't we move on now to Fluency Builder, where we're going to take a look at some of the phrases in this dialogue.
Fluency Builder.
We're going to look at the phrases, if you know what I mean.
If you know what I mean. Now, I love this phrase, if you know what I mean.
I do know what you mean.
Well, it's
I
weird.
like it too.
So you can use it for sarcasm,
Yeah.
right? Or you can use it to kind of insinuate something, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So here's what you're saying. You're saying there's a double meaning in what I want to say. So there's 2 things I could say, and I'm not going to say it outright, but this thing that we can't really say.
So, for example, we can say,
She likes to go out, if you know what I mean.
all right, so you're insinuating that not only does she like to go out, but maybe
Maybe she goes out a lot.
a lot, or maybe she gets drunk or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a double meaning, but you're trying to be subtle.
Yeah, but it's not so subtle because you're actually saying, like, this is not what I mean. Or, she's eating for 2, if you know what I mean.
Oh, there we go. So you're insinuating that, well, you're not really insinuating, you're telling me that.
She's pregnant.
pregnant.
Eating for 2 is a common idiom in English that means that a woman, is going to have a baby. So here I'm saying, hey, do you know this idiom? She's eating for 2, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Wink, wink, wink.
Wink, wink. So now, why don't we take a look at some other examples of how we could use if you know what I mean, in different circumstances when you're trying to insinuate something.
Example 1.
She's eating for two now, if you know what I mean.
Example 2.
Tim hit a home run today, if you know what I mean.
Example 3.
Jim and Laura are going their separate ways, if you know what I mean.
All right, we're back. So now that that's clear, why don't we move on to our next phrase?
So this one is a counting phrase, and for those of you who have heard the word dozen before, it might not be so new. The phrase is half a dozen.
Half a dozen. So that means half of 12.
12. So a dozen is 12. And I'm not really sure when this started being used in English, but a dozen is 12. And half a dozen is then 6.
Mm-hmm. Now, there's another phrase or another saying that's very common, a dime a dozen.
He's a dime a dozen.
Mm-hmm. So that means you can get 12 of the same type of guys for 10 cents.
Right. So they're easy to find.
They're easy to find.
Yeah.
The dime a dozen. All right, very good. And moving on to our last one. When they were talking, they said something about the meat being lean, extra lean.
Okay, lean, this does not mean lean on a door.
Right.
This is not like resting on something. This is actually a kind of way to describe food.
Mm-hmm.
And so food is lean if it's not got much fat. It's not fatty.
Okay, so if it's lean, it doesn't have much fat.
Exactly. So I prefer to eat lean meats. So I often eat birds and poultry. So chicken, I like it pretty lean. And if it's got fat on it, I'll cut the fat off.
Oh, okay, like the skin. Mm-hmm. The skin is fat, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you can have lean beef. It doesn't have much fat around it.
Yeah, and in America, actually, on the packages at the supermarket, it often says the percentage of meat that you have. So it's 95% lean or 98% lean.
So that means you have 3% fat in there.
Exactly.
Or
2%.
2%. My math skills are amazing. All right, so now that we've finished with all of these words on Fluency Builder, let's take a look at our dialogue for the last time.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like half a pound of ground beef, please.
Good choice. Our ground beef is extra lean, if you know what I mean.
Could I also have half a dozen pork chops and 2 pounds of boneless chicken breast?
No chicken breasts at the moment, but we have some nice chicken thighs.
No, that won't do. I'll take this smoked ham you have here.
Okay, is there anything else?
Is this salami and bologna you have here?
Yes, it's very fine meat. Made it myself.
Sounds good. Okay, that's it.
Wait, we have T-bone, ribeye, and sirloin steaks. They are very fresh. Just came from the slaughterhouse.
No, that's okay, really. I think that's all for today.
Okay, that'll be $34.50.
Every Saturday morning, I go to the market to buy meat. I like to buy fresh meat from the butcher. The butcher shop is not very big, but it is very clean. The smell of fresh meat is everywhere. I like the smell because it tells me that the meat is good. When I enter the shop, I usually say, "Good morning." The butcher always smiles and says, "Good morning. How can I help you today?" I feel happy when he smiles. I say, "I would like some chicken, please." Sometimes I also buy beef or lamb. Chicken is my favorite meat. It is easy to cook and it is healthy. I usually buy chicken breast because I like it without bones. The butcher asks, "Do you want it cut into small pieces?" I always say, "Yes, please." He is very kind. He cuts the chicken quickly. I like it when the meat is cut nicely. After the chicken, I sometimes buy beef. Beef is more expensive than chicken, but it is very tasty. People use beef for many dishes. I usually cook beef for soup or stew. The butcher always asks, "How much beef do you need?" I say, "Half a kilo, please." He weighs the meat on the scale and puts it in a paper bag. Lamb is another meat I sometimes buy. Lamb is more common in special dishes. I usually cook lamb with rice. The taste of lamb is very strong, and I like it very much. I sometimes ask the butcher, "Is this lamb fresh?" He always says, "Yes, it is fresh today." Fresh meat is very important for me. The butcher shop is busy on weekends. Many people come to buy meat. Some people buy chicken only. Some people buy beef or lamb. I notice that most people buy chicken because it is cheaper than beef or lamb. Chicken is also easy to cook. Many families eat chicken every week. When I buy meat, I also ask about other things. I say, "Do you have minced meat?" Minced meat is very useful for making burgers or meatballs. The butcher shows me a tray of minced meat. It is red and fresh. I say, "I would like half a kilo, please." He puts it in a bag and tells me the price. Sometimes I buy special meat for holidays. I buy turkey for celebrations. Turkey is very big and heavy. I ask the butcher, "Can you cut it for me?" He smiles and says, "Yes, no problem." I like to have turkey on special days. It is very delicious when it is cooked with vegetables. Buying meat is not just about food. It is also about speaking English. When I talk to the butcher, I practice my English. I say, "How much is this per kilo?" Or, "Can you remove the bones?" These sentences help me learn English words for meat and food. People usually buy meat in different ways. Some people like fresh meat. They go to the butcher every day or every week. Some people buy frozen meat from the supermarket. Frozen meat is easy to store, but fresh meat tastes better. I always choose fresh meat because I like the taste. At the butcher shop, I also learn new words. I learn words like lean meat, fat, bone, skin, slice, chop, and grind. The butcher sometimes asks, "Do you want lean meat or fat meat?" I usually choose lean meat. Lean meat is healthier. When I buy meat, I sometimes cook at home and sometimes cook for friends. I like to cook chicken curry. I cut the chicken into small pieces. I put it in a pan with oil and spices. I cook it slowly. The smell of chicken cooking is very nice. I also like to cook beef stew. I put beef, vegetables, and spices in a big pot. I let it cook for 1 hour. When the beef is soft, it is ready to eat. Many people also ask the butcher for special cuts. Some people ask for steak. Some people ask for ribs. Some people ask for chicken wings. I sometimes ask for chicken legs because I like them. Chicken legs are very tasty when roasted. The butcher shop is a place where people talk. People talk about their families, their food, and their meals. I like to listen to other people. Sometimes they tell me recipes. I learn how to cook new dishes from them. I like it very much. Buying meat is a normal part of life. People eat meat for lunch and dinner. Some people eat meat every day. Some people eat meat only on special occasions. In my country, chicken is the most popular meat. Beef is also popular. Lamb is more common during holidays or in special dishes. People like pork in some countries, but not everyone eats pork. When I go to the butcher, I also think about my health. I like to eat meat with vegetables. I cook healthy meals with meat, rice, and vegetables. Eating healthy food is very important. I try to buy fresh meat and fresh vegetables every week. Sometimes I go to the supermarket instead of the butcher. The supermarket has many meats in the frozen section. I ask, "Where is the meat section?" Or, "Is this meat fresh?" The employees are very helpful. They show me the meat and tell me the price. I like to buy meat from the supermarket when I am busy. Buying meat is not difficult if you know some simple sentences. You can say, I would like some chicken, or how much is this per kilo? You can also ask, can you cut it for me? These sentences are very useful. You can use them every time you buy meat. Many families eat meat every week. Chicken is the easiest meat to cook. People like it because it is cheap, healthy, and tasty. Beef is more expensive, but very delicious. Lamb is more common in special dishes. Turkey is for celebrations. Minced meat is useful for burgers and meatballs.
The butcher is very friendly. He always smiles and talks politely. I like to visit the butcher every week. I buy fresh meat and I practice my English. Sometimes I buy meat for friends and sometimes for my family. Cooking meat is fun. Eating meat with rice, bread, or vegetables is very tasty. I like to watch the butcher cut the meat. He's very skilled. He cuts the meat quickly and carefully. I sometimes ask him, can you cut it in small pieces? He always does it for me. I like small pieces of meat because they are easy to cook. When I go home, I put the meat in the fridge. I always keep chicken separate from beef and lamb. I clean the kitchen after handling meat. It is very important to be clean when cooking meat. Clean meat and clean kitchen make healthy meals. I also like to try new recipes. I use chicken, beef, or lamb to cook different meals. I sometimes make soup with beef. I sometimes make curry with chicken. I sometimes make rice with lamb. Cooking is fun, and eating is very enjoyable. Buying meat is part of life. Every week I go to the butcher. I greet the butcher, choose fresh meat, ask questions, and pay for the meat. I enjoy this routine. I also enjoy learning English through this activity. The butcher teaches me new words and sentences. Chicken is the most popular meat in my home. My family likes it. We eat it at least 3 times a week. Beef is also common. We use beef for stew, kebab, and burgers. Lamb is special for celebrations. We eat it once or twice a month. Turkey is for holidays only. Minced meat is very useful. We use it for meatballs or burgers. Buying meat is easy if you know the words. Fresh meat is better than frozen meat. Lean meat is healthier than fatty meat. Bone and skin can be removed. You can ask the butcher to cut, chop, slice, or grind the meat. You can also ask about the price. I enjoy talking to the butcher. He's very kind. He always answers my questions. He helps me choose the best meat. I feel happy after buying meat. I go home, cook the food, and eat it with my family. We talk about the meal. We enjoy eating together.
Buying meat teaches English, cooking, and life skills. Every week I learn something new. I learn words like chicken, beef, lamb, turkey, minced meat, lean meat, fat, bone, slice, chop, grind, fresh, frozen. I practice sentences like, I would like some chicken. How much is this per kilo? Can you cut it for me? Eating meat is very common. Chicken is eaten every week. Beef is for special dishes. Lamb is for celebrations.
Turkey is for holidays. People enjoy meat because it is tasty, healthy, and filling. I enjoy buying meat, cooking meat, and eating meat with my family. Every Saturday, I go to the butcher. I say, "Good morning." I choose fresh meat. I ask questions. I pay for the meat. I go home, cook it, and eat it. This is my routine. It is simple but very enjoyable. Buying meat is not just food, it is also learning English, practicing conversation, and enjoying life. I like visiting the butcher, choosing the best meat, and cooking delicious meals. I also like to share the meals with my family. Chicken, beef, and lamb are my favorites. They are all tasty, healthy, and easy to cook.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Beef that has been put through a grinder.
Ground beef.
A type of meat from a large bird, similar to chicken.
Turkey.
Having a low fat content.
Lean.
Used to express the listener is aware of something that is assumed to be known.
If you know what I mean.
A type of small sausage.
Hot dog.
A cut of pork in a individual size.
Pork chop.
A type of knife a butcher uses.
Cleaver.
With the bones removed.
Boneless.
The table that a butcher works on.
Chopping block.
The meaty breast portion of a chicken.
Chicken breast.
The waxy paper a butcher uses to wrap meat in.
Butcher paper.
The upper leg portion of meat on a chicken.
Chicken thigh.
A ham which has been seasoned with smoke.
Smoked ham.
Cold cooked meat used for sandwiches.
Cold cuts.
Spicy dry sausage.
Salami.
A thick piece of beef with a T-shaped bone in it.
T-bone.
A tender cut of beef from the outer side of the rib.
Rib eye.
A piece of beef from the lower back of the cow.
Sirloin.
A slice of beef.
Steak.
The place where animals are killed for their meat.
Slaughterhouse.
Wide sausage that is sliced.
Bologna.
Let's try that faster. The meaty breast portion of a chicken.
Chicken breast.
Spicy dry sausage.
Salami.
Used to express the listener is aware of something that is assumed to be known.
If you know what I mean.
A type of small sausage.
Hot dog.
A ham which has been seasoned with smoke.
Smoked ham.
Wide sausage that is sliced.
Bologna.
Having a low fat content.
Lean.
Cold cooked meat used for sandwiches.
Cold cuts.
A slice of beef.
Steak.
The upper leg portion of meat on a chicken.
Chicken thigh.
A cut of pork in a individual size.
Pork chop.
A thick piece of beef with a T-shaped bone in it.
T-bone.
The place where animals are killed for their meat.
Slaughterhouse.
Beef that has been put through a grinder.
Ground beef.
A type of knife a butcher uses.
Cleaver.
A type of meat from a large bird, similar to chicken.
Turkey.
With the bones removed.
Boneless.
A tender cut of beef from the outer side of the rib.
Rib eye.
A piece of beef from the lower back of the cow.
Sirloin.
The waxy paper a butcher uses to wrap meat in.
Butcher paper.
The table that a butcher works on.
Chopping block.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Ground beef. You should be sure that ground beef is cooked well. Otherwise, you can get sick. Ground beef. Today's special is ground beef at only 99 cents a pound while supplies last. Ground beef. These Italian meatballs are made from ground beef, salt, pepper, and a pinch of garlic powder. Lean. Tommy is on a diet, so he only eats extra lean meat. Lean. Look at that girl over there. She is so lean. I don't think there is an ounce of fat on her body. Lean. We want to make the company leaner and more responsive to the demands of the market. If you know what I mean. This beef is so fresh, I think I can still hear it mooing, if you know what I mean. If you know what I mean. I know what you mean. The internet is so slow, I'm not sure I'm even connected. If you know what I mean. Boy, John's wife is really mad at him. I guess he's really in the doghouse, if you know what I mean. Cold cuts. Are we all prepared for the picnic? Let's see here. We have bread, cold cuts, mustard, silverware, plates. Cold cuts. Honey, don't forget to buy the cold cuts on your way home. Buy some sliced roast turkey and whatever else you want. Cold cuts. I would prefer a bowl of steaming noodles rather than some stale bread and cold cuts. Steak. Before I got this great job, I was so poor, but now it's steak for dinner every night. Steak. I can't finish this whole steak. It's bigger than my head. Steak. You can choose how long your steak is cooked. Rare steak often still has blood in it, while well done is almost entirely burnt.